Welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I am going to talk about dual nature of matter as suggested by de Broglie in 1924. That this idea of dual nature of matter helped Schrödinger to set up a differential equation known as Schrödinger wave equation, and this wave equation is equivalent to Newton's second law of motion, but this is applicable for the quantum systems. So let us start with it. So I am starting with the paper of Schrödinger written on Schrödinger wave equation in 1926, and he started his paper with the idea of Louis de Broglie in 1924 proposed the idea of phase waves and these phase waves thought to be associated with the motion of electron, or associated with the motion of material particles or material parts, especially with electrons and protons. So this I have taken from the paper of Schrödinger on wave equation. So that means the de Broglie proposed the dual nature of matter. That is, material particles behave as a particle as well as wave. And so this is possible if de Broglie wave also called matter wave or phase wave is represented by a wave packet. I will talk about the idea of wave packet later on. This wave packet made of a wave packet made of a linear superposition of a very large number of waves, and it is so localized that it be regarded as almost a particle, and hence wave particle duality. So let us try to understand it graphically first of all, and then we are having a large number of waves which are added together to give us a resultant wave like this. So let us try to say we are having a wave like this. If such type of plane waves all are superimposed over one another, slightly different frequencies, a large number of such waves when superimposed over one another and so on. A large number of waves when they are superimposed over one another, then the resultant wave which we are getting is like this. And that means these are a large collection of plane waves. Once all are superimposed over one another, then that gives rise to a wave packet. And let us try to understand this with the help of a GNU plot. So what I will do, so this is a small script of GNU plot. So what I did in this case, I have plotted the sin x. First of all, I will plot a sin x, and then I will plot sin 0.71x and 0.72x and so on up to 1.30. They are roughly 60 waves and having slightly different frequencies, and they differ by this factor as clear. So right, so if we plot this, means if I plot this script, then what will happen? Let us have a look at that. So if I load, right, so let us have a look at it. So this was the wave which I am getting. So that means this violet color represent, it's a violet color, it is a plot of sin x, and rest of this is like a wave packet, right? Yes, this one. Now That means this is localized here, and in rest of there its amplitude will be almost negligible. So particle will be somewhere here, means the probability of finding the particle where the amplitude will be maximum, it's a more. So roundabout in this region, its probability will be maximum and it keep on decreasing on either side of 0. From this graph, there is another script we are having. I got it from internet. See, this is the wave and the group velocities of a wave packet, right? So that's what will happen. It's a wave packet, right? So this is the idea of this, what we call the idea of wave packet. Now, after this, mathematically, I will try to visualize the wave packet. So next is the mathematical visualization of wave function and wave packet. Mathematical visualization of wave function or a plane wave and a wave packet. So if wave function is changing with the position and time, so it is phi xt and it is represented by a exponential of iota kx minus omega t. So this represents a simple plane wave. If such waves are added together, slightly different amplitude and the frequencies and the wave vectors, then that gives rise to their superposition, gives rise to a wave packet. So that means superposition of phi i's are mathematically it can be represented as ai exponential iota kix minus omega kt. Omega is a function of time, k also, so it is omega it, not k, but it is slightly different, so it is omega I. And in the form of integral, if this summation can be converted into integral, then it can be written as ak exponential of iota kx minus omega t, and where omega is a function of k dk. So this is another way to look at this wave packet, and basically this is the plot of phi x, and the plot of this is basically this is wave packet. So this is represented by psi xt. So it represents a wave packet and this represents a plane wave. So let me call it as equation number 1 and let me call it as equation number 2. So this wave nature of particle suggested by T. Broglie motivated Schrödinger to derive a wave equation for material particles. This wave equation is equivalent to Newton's second law of motion, and it's a differential equation basically which we are deriving. It is a differential equation. Right. So what we will do, we will consider a free particle and its momentum will be p and mass will be m and v will be the velocity. So momentum is mass into velocity, and the particle is free, so that means its total energy is simply the kinetic energy. No potential energy will be there. Yeah, means potential energy will not be there because it is a free particle. As it is a free particle. So let us do one thing. If I multiply it by m and dividing it by m, then it can be written as p square by 2m. So that means energy of the particle can be written as p square by 2m. But this is the energy of the particle. But according to de Broglie, wave is associated with the particle. So if k is the wave vector or propagation constant, and omega is the angular frequency of the wave, then this momentum is represented as h cross k and energy is represented by h cross omega. So these two factors relating to a wave, and this we have derived for a particle. So that means if I substitute these two here, then this equation will become h cross omega. Let me call it as equation number 3, and let me call it as equation number 4. So h cross omega will become h cross k square by 2m. That's what we are getting here. This is equation number 5. That means we have clubbed the particle as well as wave nature, but still we are lacking something. That for that, what we will do, we will consider a plane wave. So now we will consider a plane wave psi xt, and let me call it as a exponential of kx minus omega t. So now our purpose is to find the differential equation. To find differential equation representing particle as well as wave nature. So for that, let us do hit and try type method. So differentiating equation 6 with respect to x and t. So curly psi over curly x is equal to iota k a exponential of iota kx minus omega t, and it is iota k psi, or this can be written as curly psi over curly x is equal to iota k psi, or this equation can also be written as 1 over iota k curly psi over curly x is equal to psi, and let me call it as equation number 8. Say it is 7, and let me call it as equation number 8, this equation, right? Now again differentiating this wave function with respect to t, so it will become iota omega a exponential iota kx minus omega t, or it is iota omega with negative sign multiplied by psi, or this can also be written as curly psi over curly t is equal to minus iota omega psi, or this may also be written as minus 1 over iota omega curly psi over curly t is equal to psi. Let me call it as, so if I try to look at this part and this part, so both are equal to psi. So if we club these two, 8 and 9, so 8 and 9 leads to the equation 1 over iota k curly psi over curly x must be equal to minus 1 over iota omega curly psi over curly t, and curly psi over curly t, it comes out to iota will cancel with iota, so it is omega over k curly psi over curly x. So this differential equation basically equate omega and k, but we need a equation which will relate omega and k square. So let us do one more thing, that we will differentiate 8 and 9 again with respect to x and t, so to find out their second order derivative. So that means differentiating 8 and 9 with respect to x and t again, that means curly square psi over curly x square it is equal to iota k square a exponential iota kx minus omega t, it's equal to minus k square psi, so it is minus 1 over k square curly square psi over curly x square is equal to psi, and let me call this as equation number 11. And again taking derivative with respect to t, so it is curly square psi over curly t square minus iota omega minus iota omega, and a exponential of iota kx minus omega t, it is equal to minus k square psi, minus omega square psi, so it is minus 1 over omega square curly square psi over curly t square is equal to psi. So if we club these two equations together, 11 and 12, because both are equal to this what we call psi, so that means these two equations leads to a new equation, that means we can write it as that minus 1 over k square curly square psi over curly x square is equal to minus 1 over omega square curly psi over curly t square, right? So this equation, this minus will cancel out with it, and this equation will become curly square psi over curly t square is equal to omega square over k square curly square psi over curly x square. But this equation is not according to earlier equation. This equation, because we need a equation which relate k square and omega. So that means these two differential equations, either first order differential equation and second order differential equations, are not according to our requirement. So that means we have to think in different manner. So for that, what we will do, we will again consider equation 5, and the equation 5 is h cross omega is equal to h cross k square over 2m. As from equation 9, 1 over iota psi curly psi over curly t is equal to omega, and according to equation 11, this minus 1 over psi curly square psi over curly x square, it can be written as k square. So if we substitute these two values here, then this equation will become that h cross the value of omega equal to h cross square by 2m minus 1 over psi curly square psi over curly x square. This is the value of k square. So this psi will cancel out with it, and this negative will remain as it is. And here minus 1 over iota is simply iota. So that means iota h cross curly psi over curly t is equal to minus h cross square by 2m curly square psi over curly x square. So this is the Schrodinger wave equation for a free particle. For a free particle. So that means the idea of wave particle duality helped us to derive this Schrodinger wave equation. And this represents a localized particle. So if it represents a localized particle, then its solution must be like this. Its solution must be like this. And we can generalize this to 3D, 3 dimensions. So let me call it as equation number 14, and for 3 dimension this equation will be written as iota h cross curly psi over curly t is equal to minus h cross square by 2m into del square psi. This is the required equation for 3 dimension. Now from free particle we have to switch over towards a particle which is under the influence of some force or some potential. So that means now we have to derive a Schrodinger wave equation for a particle under the influence of force or potential, whatever you want to call, because this force is equal to negative of the potential gradient. So let us recall earlier beginning of this lecture that we have started with the E is equal to P square by 2m. So that means we have started to derive the Schrodinger wave equation from the energy momentum relationship. Or we call it as h cross omega is equal to h cross square k square by 2m. Also, the Schrodinger wave equation which we have derived curly over iota h cross curly over curly t psi must be equal to minus h cross square by 2m del square psi. So if we compare this with this part, or we will try to write down this equation in different manner, that is minus iota h cross del h square, because h cross square del square can be written in this form. So that means this is sitting in place of momentum and this is sitting in place of energy, and both contains curly over curly t and del. So that means they are the differential operator, and differential operators multiplied by some constant. So that means let us do one thing. Let us call curly over iota h cross curly over curly t as energy operator, and minus iota h cross del as momentum operator. One is the energy operator and another is the momentum operator. So that means our equation can be written as E operator psi must be equal to p square by 2m psi, and here let me call it as the kinetic energy operator. So that means I can express it as E psi is equal to T psi. So this is a Schrodinger wave equation for free particle, but not in terms of in terms of operators, right? But if some force is acting, then force is negative of the potential gradient, and total energy of the system is the kinetic energy plus potential energy. So in operator form, it can be written as T plus V. So that means our wave equation will become like this. That means iota h cross curly over curly t psi must be equal to minus h cross square by 2m del square plus v. Psi must be equal, right? So this is the Schrodinger wave equation, or we can write it as that this is, and this kinetic energy plus potential energy is known as Hamiltonian operator. As we learned in the classical mechanics course. So that means h psi can be written as E psi, and here this equation looks like eigenvalue equation. And E is the eigenvalue of energy when psi is operated with Hamiltonian operator. So So it's not a energy operator, so it gives us a eigenvalue. So that means it is E psi. It was like this, and psi is the corresponding eigenwave function. So our purpose during the solution of Schrodinger wave equation to find out the E and psi eigenvalues of energy and the psi as a wave function, right? So that's all. This is a way that how de Broglie helped us to derive the Schrodinger wave equation. So thanks for watching this lecture.